Hi everyone. Today's video is going to be on something called augmented reality. Augmented reality is a little bit more advanced than some of the other technologies that I've shown you, but I think it's really fascinating. Of course, I'm a little biased because this is what my research is on and how to include different pedagogical approaches in using augmented reality as the tool for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually create two videos. One is going to be just on what augmented reality is, and the second one's going to be on how to create your own. So augmented reality is basically putting virtual information on top of real life in reality. So for example, QR codes. We went through a video on QR codes a couple weeks ago. That is a very simple, basic form of augmented reality. Because you're in everyday life, you see a QR code, you scan it with your phone, and you get some virtual information. It's a little bit different than virtual reality, which is 100% immersion into a virtual environment. So as you can see, there's a couple different browsers. Glogster should not be in this folder, sorry about that, but Aurasma is the one that we're going to be talking about today. Genio is pretty good. It's actually a lot more advanced. To do really good augmented reality pieces with that, you do need to know some programming skills, which I don't, so I don't really create my own using Genio. I just look at other people's stuff. And Onvert is a very good one that's also very easy. It actually integrates QR codes as well as image-based, which Aurasma does 100% image-based, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Wikitude actually does GPS-based, so if you're on your phone and you go to a certain area, it will pick up the GPS. This app will pick up the GPS and show you virtual information based on where you're actually located. And there's a few others as well. So again, we're going to be using something called Aurasma. Now, before I open up the app, I'm going to show you the images that I use to augment. And the reason why I'm going to use, I'm just going to use a regular camera is because Aurasma's camera is so fast that it will change the image before you even get a chance to see what I'm looking at. So I'm going to close that and I'm going to open up a regular camera on my iPad. So regular camera, and I'm going to pull over. Sorry about that. And I'm going to pull over just so some of the images that I've already selected, that I've already done, I created the augmented reality pieces on these. So the first one is George Washington crossing the Delaware. As any history teacher or art teacher could tell you, that there's a lot of problems with this image in reality. It's not very historically accurate. Now, the cool thing about this one is that the image that I used to augment was actually originally colored, but it still works with black and white. So even if you create something with an image that's slightly different, it will still work. My next image I'll show you is Benjamin Franklin. This was actually a statue inside the Pennsylvania Military Museum. So I did a project when I was at Penn State doing an augmented reality project that was within the Military Museum. So this still works today. If you go to the Military Museum in Boalsburg, Pennsylvania, and you scan this statue, it will do what I'm about to show you. This is just a cover of a book. So I'll show you what you can do with books, and then I also have another example from a book, and that's what it originally looks like. So those are the examples I'm going to be showing you. Now let's open up Aurasma. Now you do need to create an account with Aurasma. I've already created it. I followed my channels, and in the next video that I show you on how to build your own, I'll get more into detail on that. All right, so as you can see, it went really fast, and this one is a little bit sideways. I apologize, but I created, this was the very first one I ever created. As soon as you scan the image of George Washington crossing the Delaware, it points out the mistakes, like that the flag's not accurate, that George Washington wouldn't have been standing, that's not the correct boat, and the icebergs wouldn't have been there, would have actually just won one solid sheet of ice. So there's just a couple of different perspectives, just to give students an idea of perspectives and maybe reality versus art. So the next one is Benjamin Franklin. All right, so you might recognize this because I use Blabber Eyes. So again, whenever you go into the museum in Boalsburg, Pennsylvania, and you go up to the statue, it actually works in real life. If you walk up to that statue and hold your phone in front of him, he'll start talking to you. So that's a pretty cool one. Abraham Lincoln Comes Home was the book. And as you see, it pushed straight to my website. So, and from there, I have an ed puzzle based on civil rights, or not civil rights, I'm sorry, about Civil War. And so I created an ed puzzle that has questions. So you can quiz a student before they even start reading a book to see their knowledge of that. And the last one I have set up for you is another Blabberize. It comes from a book in which I had them talk. Okay, so there's a lot more examples, a lot more different things you can do. One of the things that I've seen people do is a bulletin board. They have bulletin boards where they have created student artwork. Then that might be linked to a video of them giving a presentation to that artwork. So when parents come in, they can scan the bulletin board and actually see their student present. So there's a lot of different ideas, a lot of awesome things you can do with this. If any of you are interested in augmented reality, I would absolutely love to come in and work with you. So please let me know. Thanks, guys.